Hello. This video is about this passage, Living in the USA, the main passage of Unit 2. القطعة الرئيسية في الوحدة الثانية. Living in the USA. العيش في the United States of America. We have 4 pictures here. One picture of the Empire State Building in New York, and we have 3 pictures of 3 people of different races من أعراق مختلفة. First we have here a number of exercises about the passage. Let's read them quickly. He says in number 1, close your eyes أغلق عينيك and think of the United States. Write down the first 5 things you think of. اكتب أول 5 أشياء تخطر على بالك عندما تفكر بالولايات المتحدة. هو أعطانا هنا he gave us 2 things. The Empire State Building, this building, a very famous building in the city of New York. And we have cheeseburger and the fries. Fries يعني اللي هي البطاطا المقلية. أصابع البطاطا المقلية. Read the introduction. In number 2, he wants us to read the introduction to the magazine article. So this is a magazine article, مقالة في مجلة, and there is an introduction, مقدمة, then works in 3 groups. Group I, okay, we will skip this exercise. هذا يعني راح نتجاوز رقم 2. سنتجاوز التمرين رقم 2. Number 3, answer the questions. Okay, I want you to pay attention to these questions, and when I read the passage, try to find answers for them. يعني انتبهوا لهذه الأسئلة. أبقوها في بالكم وعندما أقرأ القطعة حاولوا البحث عن إجابات لها. Why and when did she come to the United States? Why and when did he or she come to the United States, to the US? What does she do? So the question here applies to all of them. يعني هنا السؤال ينطبق على جميع الأشخاص الثلاث. What does he or she do? This means what is his or her job. ما هو عملهم. What does she like about living in the US? ما الذي يحبونه بشأن العيش في الولايات المتحدة? What was difficult at the beginning? ما الشيء الذي واجهوا صعوبة فيه أو ما الذي كان صعبا بالنسبة لهم عند البداية. We will skip number 4. نتجاوز رقم 4. Go to number 5. We have 9 questions here. What are these questions? Number 1, what do the people have in common? ما هو القاسم المشترك بينهم. قاسم مشترك يعني شيء مشترك يشاطرونه جميعا. Are they all happy living in the US? Who has other members of their family living there? من لديه أفراد آخرين من عائلته يعيش هناك? Do they all have children? Who married someone from their own country? من متزوج من شخص من نفس بلده? What do Aziz and Andre like about the US? What do they say about their own country? Do they like the people of the United States? What do they say about Americans and their cars? Okay, let's start reading the passage. Let's start with this introduction. This is the introduction. The people of the United States are nearly all immigrants or descendants of immigrants. I'll first just read it for you, so pay attention to the way I pronounce the words and the way I read when I pause and when I make a longer short pause or long one. يعني في البداية سأقرأها فقط انتبهوا لللفظ وطريقة القراءة، متى أتوقف توقف قصير، متى أتوقف توقف طويل، ونفس الأمور التي أحاول أن ألفت انتباهكم إليها كلما أقرأ قطعة. The people of the United States are nearly all immigrants or descendants of immigrants. It is a young country. It is the United States. The United States is a young country, and much of the population has relatives who live in other parts of the world. But how do they find the US when they first arrive? What do they think of the people, the culture, the way of life? Jamie Peterson spoke to three of them. So Jamie Peterson is a journalist, صحفي, and he spoke to three of them, of the people of the United States who are immigrants. Those are the three: Aziz Tunisi, Andrea Boras, and Yuet Tung. Aziz is aged 24 and he's from Tunisia. Andrea Boras, aged 45, from Hungary. And Yuet Tung is 31 and she's from Hong Kong. She comes from Hong Kong. Aziz comes from Tunisia. Andrea Boras comes from Hungary. Aziz came from Tunis to New York 10 years ago. Tunis is the capital of Tunisia. 10 years ago, he wanted to study English here. At first, he missed everything: the sunshine, the food, his family. But now, he has a successful business with his three brothers and his wife. They run a sports store in New Brunswick. Aziz's wife is also Tunisian, and they have two children who go to American schools. When asked about the future, Aziz says without hesitation, "I want to work hard and be successful." He certainly works hard. He's at the store all day, then works as a driver in the evening. "I like living here," he says. "You can be what you want." When I first came here, I didn't speak the language, and it was winter. It was so cold. There was snow. Now, nearly all my family are here, not only in New York, but also in California and in Texas. We meet about once a month and have a huge Tunisian family meal. We are all happy here. Andre is a mathematician at Rutgers University, New Jersey. He came from Budapest 13 years ago. I had an opportunity to come here for 2 years. After a year, his wife came to join him, and since then they have had a daughter. So they decided to stay. At first, it was very strange. Everything is so big here, he says. I started to feel happy when I bought a car. Now I go everywhere by car. In Hungary, we only use the car at weekends. But here, your car is part of your life. Nobody walks anywhere. How does he find the people? Very friendly. The first question everybody asks you is, "Where are you from?" People talk to you here. They start conversations. I like the fact that there are people from all over the world. What about the way of life? The thing I like best is the independence. Nobody tells me what to do. Hey, you can do what you want, so you learn to make decisions for yourself. I feel in control. Finally, we have Yuet Tung, is her Chinese name, but in English she is known as Clara. She came to the US 8 years ago and studied fine art. Now, she works on Madison Avenue for a publisher. She married a Vietnamese American 3 years ago, and they live in Long Island. They don't have any children yet. What does she think of living in New York? It's very similar to Hong Kong. It's a busy city, very exciting, and people walk very fast. I like the stores here. They are huge, and it's cheaper than Hong Kong. But you need a car here. In Hong Kong, everyone uses public transportation because it's good and it's cheap. At first, I hated driving here, but it's okay now. What does she like best? The space. Here, I live in a house with a yard. In Hong Kong, it is so crowded, and the people are friendly. When I go jogging, everyone says hi, and the food is from every country in the world. And then in the next video, I will explain the passage in Arabic.